what we did last time. Okay. Okay. So let me quickly go through the thing which we have done last time around. So this is just to refresh your mind. So what I will do, I will start presenting the I will make the same diagram again so that you can refresh your mind about the last topic which we discussed. So last time around, we were discussing, let me present a window here, and the window is why the paint is okay, clear now. Okay, so last time, let me quickly make it. Last time we discussed that there is exploratory research. You know about exploratory research now. Exploratory research is there, and there was another type which is not, the name is not as such given in the slides. I told you this is investigation or explanatory research. When you have a research model or research work available, then it is explanatory. Otherwise, it is exploratory. So these are the two types. One, two. Then this exploratory research has no further classification, whereas explanatory research has two classifications: descriptive and analytical. So descriptive research, we talked about descriptive research in the last class, that it will describe something which is already there. Many researchers have worked on it. That is why it is a type of explanatory research. This descriptive research, last time around, there are two more classifications of descriptive research: cross-sectional and the second type was longitudinal. So this is what we discussed last time around. So descriptive research, descriptive is a type of explanatory research. Explanatory means you already have research work or research framework or theory about that thing, and you are analyzing or examining the same problem again, which exists. So it can be either cross-sectional research or it can be longitudinal research. Now, last time we studied that cross-sectional research is time-based. When you say it is time-based, it means you collect information or data in one time period. That means if I say I have conducted a research which is a cross-sectional research, I will put it in my research work as well. And what I will do, that will be, when I say it is a cross-sectional research, it means it is for, let's say, 1 year. So I conducted a research on the behavior of Omani students in 2015, for example. The behavior of Omani students in Sur College. The research was conducted in 2015, only for 1 year data. Then in my research work, it would be written that it is a cross-sectional research. What does it mean? That means I do not guarantee that in 2020 or in 2025 or in 2030, same results which I have shown in my research would be applicable or valid or correct. So cross-sectional studies are for short time period. Maybe the behavior will change after some time. Then there was the second type, the longitudinal studies. So longitudinal studies are for long time period. And your research will tell that it is a longitudinal research. That means in a longitudinal research, what will you do? If you are conducting a longitudinal research, you will collect data. For example, I am studying the behavior of students in Sur College and my research is longitudinal now. What will I do? I will collect data in 2015. Then I will again collect data maybe in 2017, 2018, maybe 2020, and maybe in 2022. So for these 4 or 5 years, I will compare the data. After comparison, I will tell you the long-term behavior. So longitudinal results are long-term results. Remember, longitudinal means it studies the dynamics. Dynamic means changing with time. So results may change with time. It is possible. Keep this in mind that if you are a biotechnician or working on some medicine, your studies are not cross-sectional or longitudinal because your study results would always be for a long period of time. What does it mean? It means if I combine 2 molecules of hydrogen with 1 molecule of oxygen, it will always become water, H2O. You make it now in 2020 or you make it maybe in 2100. Anytime you combine 2 molecules of hydrogen with 1 molecule of oxygen under some conditions, you will always get water. So remember, cross-sectional studies and longitudinal studies are valid when you are studying a behavior. For example, behavior of people, behavior of students, behavior of your marketing team, behavior of your HR in some company, HR, human resource in some company, behavior of companies, because companies are run by people. So do you get my point that there is a difference between cross-sectional studies and longitudinal studies? This is what we discussed till in our last class. Okay. So I would just ask you a question. You need to answer it so that I can move forward. Just see this question properly with the diagram. Cross-sectional research is exploratory. Is this a yes or a no? Just see the diagram. Okay. I got a quick response. Just see the diagram and then you can decide whether it is a yes or a no. I have written cross-sectional research is exploratory. You can see this statement in your chat box.
Teacher, can you read what is in the board again?
So there are 2 types, exploratory research and explanatory research. Exploratory research has no other classification. Explanatory research has descriptive research and analytical research. Descriptive research is further divided into cross-sectional and longitudinal research. So if you see this diagram, just concentrate on that diagram. Cross-sectional research is a type of descriptive research, right? And descriptive research is explanatory, not exploratory. So only Rima Saeed Alvi is right because she said no. Cross-sectional research is explanatory. It's explanatory. It's an investigation, not exploration. In exploration, you have to make the research model yourself. You have to make research framework yourself. So then you will decide after that you will come for cross-sectional or longitudinal studies. So it will take a long time. Yes. So, okay. Another thing, another statement. Longitudinal research is easy as compared to cross-sectional research. I hope you can. This is easy. Okay, you can put this response. Take your time. Within a minute, you can put this. Longitudinal research is easy as compared to cross-sectional research. Okay. Okay. Yes. Good. It takes long time. That is why longitudinal, because you will be collecting data in many years for longitudinal research. But in cross-sectional, just 1 year. So cross-sectional studies are very easy to handle. But the longitudinal studies, not easy to handle, take long time. Good. Okay. So I will give you just 30 seconds. If you want to take a picture of it, just take it for your future reference because I will remove it. This is my whiteboard, so I will remove it.
So, Mr. When we study, we just study from the PowerPoint or Word, because we don't have Word for the
PowerPoint.
course.
Yeah, PowerPoint.
Only PowerPoint, yeah?
I am taking everything from the PowerPoint, right? So
To
no
study
need
from
to,
PowerPoint.
yeah, just
Okay.
clear your concept. That's it. Don't see anything. Let me share it again. This is what I made in the PowerPoint in the Paint. Let me again share it so that you can see it. Why it's not coming here now? It will come. Okay. Now I hope that you can see it. Okay. Now I hope you can see it. You can quickly take the picture of it so that we can move forward. So it makes easy. It is in the slide, but this tree will help you. Is it done? Let me count. 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So now I will remove the screen. What I need to do now, I need to talk about analytical research. Now we know about descriptive research and exploratory research. And in terms of explanatory research, there were two types, descriptive, analytical. Now let us talk about analytical research. So there is no space here. That is why I have to delete this. And now let me make something for analytical. In analytical research, we have further two types. We have further two types. One is association, and the other one is cause and effect. Association means relationship. So you can quickly take a picture of this so that I can move towards cause and effect. So analytical research, which is a type of explanatory research, it has further two classifications, association and cause and effect. Now let me tell you what is cause and effect and association. First, I will tell you about cause and effect, then association. For your reference, please take a picture of it. So I talked about, let me put it in the chat box as well. Analytical has two types. One is association and the other one is cause and effect. Okay, so now I will make a model for cause and effect and association in order to give you the understanding. You can just take a picture now. In the chat box, I have typed it as well so that you can know what are the correct words. Okay, just take a minute or so. Okay, let me check if there is a text here. Okay, okay, so it is analytical. This is association. and this is cause and effect. Okay, good. So now you can take a picture of it. I don't know how to. This is the full screen for me. This is a paint. This is not a PowerPoint. So okay, make it. Is it possible? Oh, it becomes. Even I cannot now get it back. Okay, I hope it is better now. I hope it is now in a bigger size. Okay, so I got some glitch. Let me share that picture again. Just quickly take the snapshot of it and we can move forward. Okay. Okay. So I hope it is okay. Now I will go to cause and effect model. Let me remove it. Okay. So in cause and effect model, okay, the size is very small. Let me make it bigger. What actually happened there is so it is cause and effect model. This is what I'm gonna make first of all. Make it bigger. Why can't I remove it? So my text would be cause and effect. For cause and effect model, you must know that there are two important things. Variables, you can also call them factors. You can also call them factors. I hope you can see that. So variables are there. What is a variable? The definition is given in the slides. I will show you after when I share the slides with you. So variable is something which you can observe. Okay, that means I can get information or data about it. That would be variable. Why it is called variable? Because it can increase or decrease with passage of time. With the passage of time, it can increase or decrease. You can, in research, we also call them factors. So either you call them factors, either you call them variables, it's fine. Now, there are two types of variables in cause and effect. In a cause and effect model, which is a type of analytical model, you analyze something, you do not describe something, you analyze. In that, you have cause and effect model. Cause and effect model has two types. I put it in a chat box. There are independent variables. There are dependent variables. So you have independent variables which will affect our dependent variable or variables. So I will take the same example which is there in your slide. So there are some variables which are like age, income, education, and gender. And they are affecting one variable which is known as health. So these variables have effect on your health. So how many variables are there? Independent variables are there? 4. Age, income, education, gender, and they are affecting one more variable which is health. So I will draw arrows like this: income, education, gender. So these 4 variables are called independent variables, whereas the one which is being affected, you will call it dependent variable. Okay. So this is a cause and effect model in which you have age, income, education, and gender. These are the 4 independent variables, and they are affecting health, which is a dependent variable. This is cause and effect. These 4 are causes of some effect. Now keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. I am not making this model. This model or research is coming from some research work previously done. That is why this cause and effect or analytical research is explanatory research. It's not exploratory. Till now, is it clear? You can put it in the chat box. Clear, good. So it was a good idea to type here. Okay, the last thing is what I said. This model, research model, you must know that I am not making it with my thinking. This research model should be coming from some research. Many research papers you read, you find those variables, and you put it together. This research model or framework or variables would already be given by other researchers. You are just using them. Maybe you will add one or two more variables. For example, in this research, I will conduct this research in Oman. This is my one contribution. And the second thing is I will add one more variable. That variable is, let's say that variable is about, I read some research papers, and from that you will get one more variable, that is the ambience. Ambience, or make it more easy for you. Let it be the health, not health, only awareness programs. So this is a new variable which I am adding based on some previous research. Now I believe that this will also affect health. So most of the things here are, yeah, dependent is health. So no, dependent variable is health. Dependent variable, Mr. Hamid, it is health. Health is being affected by those things. So if you have awareness program, this is my new variable which I have added in the research model. If you have awareness program, if you tell people about that they have to care about their health, these programs will also affect health. So this is your research framework or research model. So it's clear now, I can continue forward. Now, we know that in a research model, you will have the research hypothesis. A research hypothesis for explanatory research. This is explanatory. Nothing is new. Some researchers have discussed about age, income, education, gender, and even about the awareness programs that they can affect your health overall. You are just putting it together. So you will make hypotheses. How many hypotheses I can make in this model? I can make this, I can write H1, H2, H3, H4, H5. So I can make 5 hypotheses from this cause and effect model. Let me make the first one, then you people can try. You can put it in the chat box that what is there. So let me put the first one. The first one, H1 would be, I can write it like this. I'm putting it in the chat box. H1. My hypothesis one is age has positive effect on health. Now, this positive or negative effect, you have to put it based on your understanding as well. So you have to tell me whether this is okay or not, or should I put age has negative effect on health? What do you think? Which one is better? Age has positive effect on health or age has negative effect on health? So if I say positive, that means if normally your age is, you are getting old, your health becomes better. Yeah. So I think better is this one. Age has negative effect on health. Yeah, good. So it's better to put negative, but you have, this is research. On the basis of your thinking and previous research, you made a hypothesis. Because normally what we think, if you are getting old, like 50, 55 years, 60 years of age, your health will go down. That means one is increasing, the other is decreasing, negative. If both are increasing, you are getting old, your health is getting better, then positive. Okay, so it is better to put, you can put positive, but our understanding is more like it has negative effect. But we have to test it. This is research. You cannot say this is my thinking, age is increasing and health is decreasing. This is true in Oman. Maybe no. Maybe in Oman, old people are more healthy as compared to young people. If I tell you, maybe in China and Japan or South Korea, old people are more healthy than young people. So there the research will, you can make any statement, whether it has negative effect, but based on your understanding. My understanding is that negative is more appropriate. So age has negative effect on health. What will I do? I have to test this hypothesis. I will collect data from different people, information from different people. Based on that, I will say this hypothesis is true or false. Do you get my point? Hypothesis is something which is based on your understanding, and yeah, it doesn't matter, but you have to be clear about hypothesis, whether it is what you think or more people think that it would be positive or negative. So you have to test it. You cannot just say that it will be true. Your hypothesis will be true. Maybe when you collect data and you analyze it, it is false. Maybe in Oman, age has positive effect on health or no effect on health, maybe. Any result can come. This is research. This is not your imagination or understanding. Okay, good. So now you can move and someone can put it in the chat box, the second and third hypothesis. You can put second and third hypothesis in the chat box. Try. just compare which is positive or negative in hypothesis. Yeah, you need to, based on your understanding, you can put it as positive and negative, but it should be logical. Logical means it looks more, it looks better. So you can make H2 and H3. Just see this diagram. H2 is about income, H3 is about education. So similar to the H1, make H2 and H3 and put it in a chat box. Okay, good. So I have received lot of them. So income has negative effect on health. Normally we think income, if income, you get more income, maybe you take care of your health more. So for me, it is okay if you say it's negative effect, but most of the people, they will say maybe you should put positive effect on health. Good. H3, education has positive effect on health. We think that if you get more education, you are more concerned about your health. Good. So income has positive effect on health. Okay. Income has positive. So both of you are saying that screen is black again. Let me share it again. Let me share it again. I don't know if there is a problem with the Google Meet that sometimes after some time it becomes black. Why it is not coming? Oh, it's not. Yeah, I'm sharing it again. I hope you can see it now for some time. Now I think it's okay. Now you can see. So good. So you have tried better. Now come to fourth one. Gender, H4. What do you think about it? Now, there are two types of gender. Why didn't I ask you to put H4 as well? Because there are two genders only, male and female. So maybe male, if their male are more concerned about health in Oman, or maybe female are more concerned about their health in Oman. So maybe gender can have positive and negative, both is possible. So when you are not sure, you can put it like this. I'm suggesting one, H4. Gender has significant effect on health. Now, when I put significant, that means it can be positive, it can be negative, but it has some effect. Maybe male or female, the different groups will behave differently. Yeah, it is possible. Allah, it is possible. But the point is, But the point is inheritance. If I get this variable from some research paper, I will put it in my model. It depends upon you. So I'm just taking a simple example. Yes, it is possible. Inheritance can be there. Okay, so H4 is possible, is done. You know now when you don't know about the direction, whether it is positive or negative, you can just put it as what? You can put it as significant. H5, awareness programs. Simple awareness programs have, I would say, positive. If you get more information about health, you are more concerned about your health. You get more awareness about different diseases. You get more concerned. This is my thinking. So H5 would be positive. Yes. So it would be positive. Good. I have to take water. Just a sec for it. Just a second. Then I will continue. Yeah, positive. It is positive. Okay. So let us move forward. So this is okay. You can take a snapshot quickly and we can move to association. Take this, you can take the snapshot of this picture for your future reference. Then we can move forward. Quickly take the picture so that I can move. Done. Okay. Just 10 seconds more. So this is cause and effect diagram. This is cause and effect. Now, there was another model for analytical. There was another which was association. Let me discuss the association right now. So I'm gonna remove it. It's gone. Okay. So for association, you can also call it relationship. Sorry. You can also call it relationship, and it's easy. So we had age, same factors I'm taking, income, gender, education, awareness, programs. Now, in terms of association, I would say, in terms of association, I would say these variables would have relationship with each other. What does it mean? It means age has relationship with income. Now, I am drawing arrow not like this, both sides. Income has relationship with gender. Both are affecting each other. Relationship means both are related to each other. Gender has relationship with education. Education has something to do with awareness programs. Again, I can make more. Age and awareness program also has the relationship. Income and awareness program also has the relationship. Both-sided arrow. Income is also related to education. Age is also related to education. Age is also related to gender. So now finished, I believe. So how many hypotheses I can make for association in this case? H1, age is related to income. H2, gender, income is related to gender. H3, gender is related to education. Then education is related to awareness, H4. Then this one, age is related to awareness, you can number it H5 if you want. Then age is related to education, H5 is awareness program. H6, let's say, I can say age is related to education. Then income is related to education, H7. Age is related to gender, H8. And income is related to awareness, H9. So if you want to make, you can make total 9 hypotheses in this association model. 9 associations, yes, good. So there are 9 associations. How would you write it? Let's say I will just write one for your understanding. I know now you know it. I would say age is related. Now you can put positively or negatively related. It is up to you. I would say age is significantly, I don't know what will be the effect, so I will just write significantly related. Significant, why the spelling is wrong? Related to income. When I am not sure whether it is positive or negative, I will just put significantly. You can put positively related or negatively related. It's up to you. I'm just giving you an example. Because this is hypothesis. When you will collect information, maybe you will prove it right or wrong, true or false, based on data. So you, in this case, in this association model, you can make 9 hypotheses. 9. Total 9 lines are there. So this model will have 9 hypotheses if you want to test it. And remember, I have made for relationship, the arrow is 2-sided arrow. In effect, it was 1-sided arrow. Is this model clear? This is also analytical model, but you are studying the relationship only. Is it? Allows the computer. Okay, it's okay now. I think there was some problem with the internet. Let me share that again. Okay, now you can, so this association model, you have 9 relationships in it, and you can make 9 hypotheses. Remember, this is two-sided arrow. In effect, cause and effect, we had only one-sided arrow with us. This is, you must know that effect is on one side. Relationship means both are related to each other. So just in, I give you 30 seconds, just take a picture of it, then I can move towards the slide. So analytical models have two types, cause and effect and association. So it depends upon your purpose. Whether you are analyzing a cause and effect, that means independent effect on dependent variable, or you are just looking at the relationship between and among the variables. Okay, you just take a picture of it. I hope it is clear. Then I can move forward quickly. I will show you the slides. Some of you can put it in the chat box and if you have taken the snapshot, so that I can stop sharing that one and I can share the slides. Okay, some more. Is it done? Back again. Okay. Let me share it again quickly. It's now, I hope for the time you can see it. Done. I hope it is not black and you can just take a picture of it so that I can move. Done. Is it done? Done. Okay. So I will stop sharing this one and I will come back to the slides so that you can. I will also upload the recording of this lecture at the weekend. Before, I have also uploaded the one. If you want to see that one, it's also fine. Let me share the slide so that you can see it there. A window I want to share. It's okay. 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 So this is the analytical research. I told you about the association statement and causal statement. And I also told you about the variable. So this is the definition of variable and dependent versus independent. And we talked about association and cause and effect. So you just need to read from the slides now. Otherwise, you have the concept. Okay. Now, if you see this table classification, the purpose of the research is finished. That means the types of research. Now, for the process of research, now you know what is exploratory research, what is descriptive research, what is analytical research. This is a part of purpose of research. Now we are coming to the process of research. Process of research has two types, quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative, I uploaded it on the Blackboard. Blackboard, I sent an announcement as well. There is a link. In announcement, you can see. In announcement, okay, what I will do, I will also paste that link together with this lecture in your content as well. Okay, I will do that as well. But right now you can see that video link in your announcement. If you see the announcement of maybe on Friday or Saturday, you will in this course. But I will upload, inshallah, the link in the content as well. So you can see it in the content as well. Okay, thank you for reminding because I thought I put it in the announcement, the video link. Okay. To quantitative and qualitative data. Here, I must tell you one thing. There is a very wrong concept about quantitative and qualitative data. People say quantitative means numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4. And qualitative means maybe words. But this is not the case. Quantitative data is the data which you can measure reliably. You can count them reliably. What does it mean? I say these are 2. 1, 2. Any one of you disagree with me? For everyone, this is 2. This is 1. This is 2. And if I put third thing with it, it is 3. And if I put one more thing, it is 4. So we are counting in the same manner. This is quantitative data. If I count or if I measure or if you measure or anyone measure it, they will measure it in the same way. If it is 2 for me, it is 2 for everyone. This is quantitative data. You can measure it reliably. If I say I measured it, it is 5 inch. If you measure it, it will also be 5 inch, right? It is quantitative. It is quantitative. If I say the roof is from the floor, the roof is 12 feet. If you will measure or anyone else will measure, it will also be 12 feet. That means it is quantitative. But in terms of qualitative data, when I measure it and you measure it, maybe it is different. So qualitative can have numbers, remember, but the measurement would be different from person to person. Let me give you an example. You conduct an interview. You conduct an interview. Okay, first, let me give you example for quantitative so that you can compare it. For example, you made a questionnaire, survey questionnaire. You have seen that. That is why I'm not, when we will come to designing a questionnaire, then I will discuss about it. In your questionnaire, you have close-ended questions, close-ended. Close-ended means, this will come, but I'm just put it in a chat box for your understanding. Close-ended means I will ask you a question and then I will give you 3 or 4 options. You agree, you disagree, or you don't want to say anything, or you strongly agree or strongly disagree. You have seen these type of questions. These questions are called close-ended questions. Close-ended. Now, close-ended questions, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I collect from same questionnaire, if I collect information and you collect information, if it is 1, if someone has ticked 1, it is 1 for you and for me. That means strongly agree. Or if it is 5, that is strongly disagree, it is same for you and me. That means from that questionnaire, I will get a quantitative data. Everyone will have the same result if they are using the same questionnaire, if they are interpreting the same questionnaire, same data. Whereas in qualitative data, things are different. You conduct an interview. Now, after conducting that interview, you will normally in qualitative data, you will record the interview. So that if you miss something, you can put it together again. Now there are software, or you even can code it. Interviews are coded. Code means if you find this statement from this person, I will give it number 1. If he has, like I was talking about, my interviews are about the behavior of students in Sur College. So I conducted an interview from the dean, then I conducted an interview from assistant dean, then from the different staff. And I coded those interviews. Code means if this statement comes from dean or someone else, I will say it is 1, then some other statement as 2, some other statement as 3. This is my coding. Coding means I am putting the interview in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So that I must tell 1 is very important. That means point number 1 is very important, or point number 5 is very important. Maybe if you listen to those interviews, you will code it differently. So researchers, when they take interviews, they code them differently. That is why interviews are a data which is qualitative in nature. Qualitative, not quantitative. So just see the characteristics. In quantitative, there is single reality separated from feelings and belief of individuals. This is what I told you. It is not my thinking or your thinking. If it is 2, it is 2. If it is 3, it is 3. It's a reality. It is not my belief or feeling. Whereas in qualitative data, there can be multiple things. That means still you code your interview into a number, but you will code it into different numbers. I will code it into different numbers. That means there are multiple realities that are socially constructed. That means I will do it differently, you will do it differently. What is the aim? Aim of quantitative data is to establish relationship and explore the causes of changes in measured variables. That means you measure and you try to establish relationship. What does it mean? It means in our analytical models, cause and effect and association, we will have quantitative data with us. Whereas in exploratory research, you have to first of all conduct interviews. That means you are going to explore that thing. That means it is a qualitative data. It is a qualitative data. Then there are types of data like numerical data. Numerical means number, quantitative numbers. Textual data, I told you text or interviews, this would be qualitative. If it is clear, I will end the class and we can continue, inshallah, in the next session. Okay, okay. So I will start from quantitative and qualitative next time around. I will stop the recording.